Can the market go even higher from here, he asks. Who's going to answer that question reliably? Herb London. He's the president of the London Centre for Policy Research. I know you follow the market.
I do follow the market, and I do believe that the market can go higher. The one major impediment is what happens in Washington, D.C. If you get some sort of medical care and you get tax reform, I think that the market goes up by at least 10, 15%.
It's got to be this year, hasn't it?
Has to be this year. Has to be very soon.
And if we don't get healthcare reform and if we don't get tax reform this year, then what?
Well, I think that it has a chilling effect on the market. However, one of the things you have to understand is that, generally speaking, the profits have been extraordinary. And these profits, I think, to some degree, have offset what people have said about the politics in D.C.
So let me summarize. We've got the possibility of another leg up, another big gain for the market if we get healthcare reform and tax reform this year.
That's
right.
If
we don't get either, you're not looking for a big decline because profits are still pretty strong.
I think that's right. I think you will see a modest increase in the market, but nothing on the order of what the market is poised to do.
It's going up either way.
It's going up either way, but it's a question of how much it will go up. The market is poised for a major takeoff.
Okay.
And it seems to me that what you need are these reforms in D.C.
You don't know how much I hope you're right. You know, you have no clue.
So do I.
And it's all on your shoulders,
That's right.
son, let me tell you. Now, bad news for Britain's Prime Minister Theresa May. There's a poll out just ahead of next week's general election. That poll suggests that her Conservative Party, the Tory Party, could lose maybe 20 seats. That would wipe out her majority. Now, I think that's unlikely, but that would be one mess and a half, wouldn't it?
Well, I think it's very unlikely. I think one of the things that you're finding is that there are so many Brits at the moment who are angry that MI4, MI5 haven't been able to track down this Abadi, the fellow who was responsible for the Manchester incident. And as a consequence, they blame that on the government.
Well, Theresa May was in charge of MI5
That's right.
before she became the Prime Minister.
Exactly.
It's the fallout from Manchester that's
Well, I think it's the fallout from Manchester. It's this belief that the government has no longer control over these matters. And keep in mind, they had an incident only a couple of months earlier. And so I think that there's widespread dissatisfaction with the role of government. When people finally get to that voting booth, however, I don't think they're going to lose 20 seats. I think that's very unlikely.
To me, it's out of the question that they should forget Theresa May and the Conservatives and go full tilt for Jeremy Corbyn, who is an out-and-out 1952 socialist.
Exactly.
I mean, it's inconceivable to me that they'd vote for that.
Well, that's why I say I think that what you will see is that when people actually vote, they can't vote for Corbyn. That's not going to happen.
Herb London's still with me. You've been listening to this.
Oh, I know John's work very well.
And
John did an amazing book the last time out, pointing to the voter fraud that does exist. I've actually experienced it in New York, very much aware of the fact that the last time I ran, I probably won the race, but was told by some people, look, we managed to generate something in the order of 20,000 votes so that you would lose. So I'm very, very much aware of it.
Look, I was a green card holder for many decades, frankly, decades. I could have voted. I really could have voted. All I had to do was say, yes, I'm a citizen.
That's right.
There was no proof required. I could have done it.
Herb is more than right.